And I will say, out of the European countries I've been to, Hungary is the most that reminded me of the United States, because um, the roads are a little bit bigger than other countries, and normally most of the countries I've been to, the roads are very, very small, and like they don't really have a lot of room to park and stuff. Like you go to Italy, super tiny roads, which I love. It means you're in Europe, but or in Macedonia, they have very small roads, and people like park on the sidewalks in Macedonia. But in Hungary, they have a little bit bigger roads, and then also they have the kind of stores that are in the United States. Like they have this store called Tesco, and it's kind of equivalent to the United States Costco, Southern California. So they have these big stores, and there was this other one called I forgot what it was called. But anyways, another big store there next to Tesco, and then these huge parking lots. So there was like three big stores in a row. There was like a Tesco, this other one, and then Lidl. Um, and with one big old parking lot for all three of them. And to me, that was different than other European countries. They usually have that. Like in other countries, they have stores, of course, stores and stuff, but the parking lots are super small, or they don't even have parking lots. You got to like find some place on the street to go by, or you mostly just walk there. But yeah, like you know, there's a lot of big stores that are kind of like America, and also they had Starbucks and stuff. I mean, other countries do too, but a lot of countries in Europe don't have Starbucks. And then they had a lot more um, like American fast food places there, like because they had like a McDonald's and a Burger King, and I think they might have had a Pizza Hut. Yeah, other European countries have those too, but like here in Macedonia, they have a Burger King but no McDonald's. So yeah, to me, Hungary, as well as other buildings too, like a lot of more office buildings and stuff that was reminding me anyway of America. So to me, Hungary was the most European country that I have been to yet that reminded me the most of the United States. Oh, and then like um, many European countries do this too, but again, we just got a vehicle this a couple years ago, and we're just starting to travel with it now. So um, they have a vignette system, where you need to pay to drive, wherever you want to drive. And you do this. You could buy a vignette for like I think like a week or 10, and then 10 days, and then a month, and then a year. Yeah, yeah, and then a year. So yeah, and then you could just buy that online. So that's super convenient. Like, so before we even got there, you have to make sure you get that vignette before you enter the country, or else you're gonna get like a big fine. So yeah, before we even got there, got the vignette and ready to go. Which I gotta start getting used to now because they have vignettes in most countries. Same thing in Bulgaria. Although I'm not sure you can do it online, but just go to you just go to the petrol station. They call it petrol station over here, and get a vignette so you can drive, or you're gonna get busted. And I realized that they have this drink called Palinka there, which I actually didn't get when I was there. I wanted to. I kept reminding myself to because I want to. And when I go to a country, I want to sample that country's like famous drinks, beverages, alcoholic beverages there. Um, and since I love wine, of course, I'm in heaven with Europe because you got France and Italy and stuff. But anyway, um, Hungary's famous also famous for their wines. They have good wine there, very good wine. I tasted it when I was there. But this other drink called Palinka, I didn't taste when I was there. But Zora bought it, which I didn't know about, but we bought it before we left, because like as a gift, family members, because that's like a Macedonian tradition where if you travel someplace, you bring a gift for your family. So that was one of the gifts that she bought for her dad, and which I was glad to have she did because I didn't have a chance to sample it when I was there. So that's actually pretty good. But what I thought it was going to be kind of different tasting, but it's actually like tastes the same as rakia in the Balkans. In the Balkans, like in Serbia and Croatia and Bulgaria, Macedonia, they have a drink called rakia, and each country swears that their rakia is the best. But anyways, uh, when I had a drink of palinka, it was tastes the same as rakia. So it basically Hungary's palinka is Hungary's is their version of their rakia. from the Balkans, and it's pretty good. It's pretty strong, but it's a brandy. Um, so try some Palinka, which is actually the Balkans rakia. So pretty much having the same thing, either one, but it's still really good. Oh, and they have a lot of hot springs in Hungary. Unfortunately, this time we didn't get to try any because we wanted to kind of go to a bath, and I feel bad. Like when you go to Hungary, you got to go to the Hungarian hot springs, the waters and stuff. Um, but we didn't anyway. So Hungary's known for they have almost like so many cities and villages. They'll have hot springs because I guess it's over a thermal thing under the grounds or whatever. But part of that is I guess Lake Balaton, which I think is the largest lake in Europe or the largest like warmest thermal lake or whatever. I guess it's kind of warm, and it's also I found out it was very shallow. So there's like a lot of it. You can like stand up for long ways when you go out in there, and when you're walking in the lake. So I thought that was kind of neat. I've only been used to like lakes that are very deep. So yeah, Lake Balaton, the shallow lake in Hungary. Beautiful, very beautiful. Oh yeah, the Hungarian police and other police too will search your vehicle. We don't really do that in the United States, but in Hungary, yeah, they'll search your vehicle. Maybe they need uh, um, permission, but no, they'll totally search your vehicle. Like we were, this happened a couple times, and when I was in Bulgaria and in Macedonia, where you just stopped and they want to search your vehicle. Like you're not, they could stop you for any reason they want, and that's different than America, I believe. In America, they have to have some kind of reason to stop you. So you're speeding, or you have a light out or something, or you ran a red light or something, some kind of traffic violation. But in Hungary, they could just stop you. So we were coming back late one night from I think from Eager. Yeah, I think from Eager, and I guess it wasn't too late. Anyways, it was a night. Um, and we're I was driving on the highway, and then I wasn't on the lookout for this, but I saw like a cop car on coming off from one of the rest exits, or petrol station exits that's onto the on ramp, and so I knew he was going to stop me because I passed him and I wasn't speeding, and I passed him, and then I looked in my rearview mirror and I noticed he got on the highway. So I'm thinking, and then I kept driving, and he didn't come up to us right away. So then maybe he's not going to pull us over, but it's not the case. Like as soon as a few minutes later, down the road, he passes us, and then he puts on his lights and stuff, and then he has this like not only lights on top of the cab, but he's got these lights in the back, like these blue lights that are blinking like from the left to right, left to right, left to right. And at first, I didn't know he wanted us to pull over because I'm used to in the United States, they will come behind you and flash their lights, so you got to stop over, and they'll do their siren. But here they come in front of you, and I don't know, maybe that's so to prevent you from escaping or something like that. But they came in front of us, and then it took me a while to stop because I thought he was trying to stop the guy in front of us, because he was kind of speeding. But no, he kept staying. I'm like, okay, they must. Finally, I got through my thick head. They must want to pull us over. So I pull over, and in this rest stop, um, uh, they have a lot of rest stops, thankfully, in Hungary. So we pull over, and he comes out and asks me like stuff, but I don't know what he's saying because he's speaking Hungarian, and I'm like thinking, what am I going to say? I guess he wanted my I figured he wanted my identification stuff, and I was trying to search for mine, but then Zora is EU citizen, so she pulled out hers right away, and then once she gave him her EU citizen card, then he didn't want mine anymore. He kept stopped talking to me. Um, so he looked at stuff, and then I didn't know what he kept trying to talk to me, and then I'm like, I don't know what he was saying. And then he motioned to like the back, and that means I figured like because this he wanted to check the back, so I got out of my car, and I figured I better open the stuff and show him my stuff. I don't know what they were searching for, But I opened up the back of our vehicle. It's a hatchback, and they just started searching like nooks and crannies of everything on my car. And like the back, there was really nothing in the back in the boot anyway, in the trunk there. But then he looked underneath the floor of the trunk because it had a floor you can open, and cubbies underneath. So he looked through that, took out everything, and shined the light back there. Looked underneath the car and shined the lights into the car, um, and then opened up the back. There was a four door, so they opened up the rear doors and looked through everything, and then the front doors looked underneath my driver's seat. And I mean, I don't know what he was looking for. Maybe drugs or something like that, because we have a Bulgarian license plate, so maybe he thought, I don't know, something about Bulgarians. I don't know, but I figured he did flash us because we were from another country. Um, and then I guess there was two of them, and I did, I showed them everything, and they didn't find anything. There was nothing to find, and he started talking to me. This other guy. I went out to the front while this other guy was still looking. He was talking, asking, checking on Zora's seat and stuff. And I guess the other guy started talking to me in Russian, and the only reason I knew that because Zora speaks Russian also. So I'm like, but I didn't still understand him, and he said something like about business. He said business, and then he said like uh, what is it? Budapest, Kaposvar. I just said Kaposvar. I don't know what he was asking me. I'm like business, and he said, oh, Kaposvar, Bulgaria, business, and yeah, whatever. And he seemed to be satisfied. So yes, then they finally just gave us back everything, and I guess they said, okay, and I found out later that I guess the guy was asking me like where did I do business from, in Russian. Was I there for business? Because Zor told me what he was saying. And yeah, so that was my experience in Hungary and in other maybe some Balkan countries. They could just stop you for no reason and search your car. So that was a little bit of nerve wracking experience, but I'm like, whatever. I had nothing to find. And I noticed too, every city we went to and every little village we went to, they had statues, I guess, of historical people that used to live there, or maybe historical people from the country. So yeah, they're just like little human-sized statues just spattered throughout the city center. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then also each of the statues had like a little story of who they were and stuff, what it was about. So they not only had the big statues, of the people victorious on the horses, but just statues like there was in Cowes where we were at. There was statues of this one guy with a mustache, and he was on a little horse cart, with him and the horse, and then this other statues of him and some other guy that were just meeting, and it represented, I guess, two famous people from that city that were having some kind of famous meeting like 100, 200 years ago. So yeah, so there was Hungary loves its statues. They're like everywhere. Also in Hungary, when you're driving, they have like the petrol stations and the rest stops are like right off the road. Normally like in the United States, if you're driving, you get off the road and then you have to get off on the road and then get on the main road and then you go to a gas station, on that main road. Not like right, it's not like right parallel to the highway. So in Hungary as well as, the Balkan countries and stuff, you gotta be ready to stop soon. Like you're driving on the highway, like pretty fast speed, and then you need to get off to go to the gas station or whatever, and you like boom, it's right there, like right there. So to me, that's an impression on me. But that's like in the Balkans too. So when you're driving, be ready. You got to stop quick if you want gas. Oh yeah, I'm a big, huge history buff, and I love um, just history and things like that are left over from history, like a long time ago. That's one of the reasons I love Europe, is because there's so much history to be among, like ruins and villages that have been around for hundreds of years and and things like that. So and Hungary's no different. They have a lot of history there. They've been you know the Hungarians and Magyars have been there for like over 1,000 years. Um, so I love that, and they had a lot of history in Hungary, but I also noticed that a lot of the history and stuff, the buildings and things um, that I normally enjoy weren't that old, like in a lot of places we went to, because they were when I read about the history, they were like destroyed many times in fires or because of the the Mongols or the Ottomans when they came, they destroyed like a ton of stuff, like, and they destroyed like most of a lot of the castles in Hungary were totally demolished like hundreds of years ago, and like same thing with the castle in Budapest, and like the castle in Budapest is pretty new, but the original castle was there like over 600 years ago or something, 700 years ago, long time. Um, it's on the same site, the new castle, the palace, but it was the old one was, but not there. And also because of World War II, a lot of the country and the cities stuff in the country, the old building stuff were destroyed. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. I mean, I appreciated the history, but yeah, I was surprised that they didn't have like a lot. They had some for sure. They had some really old buildings that were there for hundreds and hundreds of years, but a lot of the stuff that were had been destroyed and everything and were rebuilt. So a lot of the buildings are from like the mid 1800s. Like this most of the oldest ones there, but that are built on the site of villages and stuff, and buildings that were there for a few hundred years. So that was a little bit um, different for me that I'd experienced in other European countries. I still appreciate it though. A lot of great history in Hungary. A lot of such cool history in Hungary that I loved there. But yeah, that was one thing that I noticed.